All right, have you ever tried to give up email for a day or maybe two? Well, for some people, the mere thought of that makes them anxious. The communication power of email has some people feeling like they're just a little addicted. Well, a few questions for you. Do you react to every email ding? Do you check email first thing in the morning? And does your inbox exceed over 100 emails? Well, if you answered yes to any of these, as I did, I'm sorry to say, you may have developed an unhealthy email habit. Here to help us both is Marsha Egan, the CEO of Egan Email Solutions. And I think you have a company that is probably, the phone is ringing off the hook, I'm sure. People need help with this.
Yes, and my email is full because of this, not just the phone ringing.
Okay, so how do you manage it? Because, I mean, it is one of the, it's a great tool, it's a powerful tool, but it can overwhelm, and I know that I can tell you, my inbox, it is to capacity.
Yours is to capacity?
Yes.
Well, you're not alone because there's so many people in this world who have the same problem. Well, one of the things that people have been doing is they let the email own them. And what happens is it dings and they react. Instead of saying, I own you, it says that it owns them.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, my gosh.
I do.
Yeah.
I react to the ding. So, yeah, all right, let's talk about how we can make this right for some folks. You do have your 12-step plan. And, you know, we use the word addiction very lightly here. Yes. It is really just an unhealthy habit in some ways, or an unproductive habit. But there are some steps you can take. So let's talk about what we can do to turn that ding from being a slave owner in a way to being something that is a tool for us.
The very first thing you have to do is say, I have a problem. There are a lot of people out there who don't really realize that they have a problem. And one of the things that they have to recognize is that if it's really cutting into their life, which a lot of this is, people are staying late at work or working through lunch or going home and not saying hi to the kids and doing their email instead, they have to recognize that it's a problem. So first of all, you have to say, it's a problem.
Okay. Then you move to?
Yes. Then you move to saying, I control it. It's just like when you're at dinner and the phone rings, do you answer it or don't you? You know, you have to say, I am not going to look up every single time that email comes in. I'm going to look at the email when it's convenient for me.
All right, now some of the advice you have is that you say, you not only take control, try to keep the box empty, which makes sense. It means sort through it and file things that have a place to be filed and delete things that you can get rid of. Okay, you also say turn off the send and receive automatic response thing there. And I got to tell you, I don't know that I could do that. That's a big step.
Well, now here's the choice. If you turn it off, then you're going in and picking up the email when you're ready. If you're looking up, you're interrupting yourself. And the problem with that is when you interrupt yourself, it takes you about 4 or 5 minutes to get back in the zone. So if you only have 4 emails, you've just wasted 20 minutes getting back in the zone, not even handling the emails. So what we want people to realize is it's a choice.
All right.
So if you want to look up at that ding, you're going to be wasting other time.
And so when I'm complaining that I can't get organized, I only have myself to blame.
I'm not going to tell you that, Mary.
But no, okay, so that makes sense. So then have your key times of day that you're going to look at it. Should you have an automatic message go out that says, I only look at email, you know, several periods a day, so don't expect an immediate response? Because I think that so many people who send emails do expect that immediate response, almost like instant messaging.
Well, that's really true. And if you respond immediately, you've just trained people that that's the way you want to be communicated with, too. But one of the things that is so interesting is with the inbox, if you go out to get your mail from the U.S. Postal Service and you flip through it, do you ever put it back in the U.S. Postal Service mailbox?
No.
I don't think so.
No.
No. So what we want to do is we want to get it out of there so that we're just sorting like we do when we get our mail.
Okay, that makes such good sense. Now, I'm going to give you one other problem that I have. It is a corporate culture sometimes. I'm going to rat out my bosses here because they're armed with BlackBerries, and boy, they'll send messages 24/7. So there is almost a culture that, you have to be responding constantly.
Well, that's very true. And sometimes people who are trying to fix it, they're saying, I can't do this all by myself. And you need the business or you need the organization to decide as a group that you're not going to use it to communicate urgently. What you want, I mean, if you're going to switch it to every 90 minutes, then people should recognize that they're only going to get a response 90 minutes later.
Okay, I like it. Well, it's my first step of the 12, and we'll see if I can be reformed. I'll have you back. Marsha, thank you so much.
Oh, this is great.
And Marsha is the CEO of Egan Email Solutions, a company that is probably going to be doing very, very well. Thank you, Marsha, and I will be right back.
There's more money.